There's two sides to every coin. Then there's a conversation you can join. But I'm an old dog and there's new tricks. And some of my opinions you just can't fix. 'Cause I'm an old man yelling at the sky. I'ma shake my fists at the clouds and cry. Get off my lawn, you snowflake, before I have a meltdown, breakdown, shakedown. 'Cause this is my hometown, so back down, sports clown. It's all just a game, and it's the last down, let down, cowtown. I said it's all just a game. I give the touchdown, the rundown, the lowdown. 'Cause it's over the game, gonna crack down, and shut down, the sundown. I said it's all just a game.
Hi, kids. Happy Friday to you. Thanks for coming back. We weren't here on Monday. Nobody was really around Monday. It is the dog days of August. For those who are excited about hockey, the closest we'll get to that is our shirts today. We'll get to those in a second. We are about a month away from training camp, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We can tell you that the Calgary Surge are on the road tonight in Vancouver as part of the championship weekend, the CBL. We'll talk about that in a little while. Also on the road is the Cavalry. They're in Winnipeg. And also on the road is the Stampeders, because they are in BC tomorrow. But that doesn't mean nothing's going on in the town. As a matter of fact, for the first time in a long time, the WWE is at the Saddle Dome with Smackdown. That means to my broadcast left, or I guess on your screen, probably right, I don't know. Anyway, he's the Prince Regent of Retail. No, Vice President of Retail for
don't make up more names.
Come on now. Well, you were so adamant that I make sure I got it right. So because I got a letter from your lawyer and a dissertation about titles. Yes. And yes, it's all about that. Did you get a raise? No, but I got a title, right? Brent Gibbs with us for the third time, but it's really becoming apparent when you show up. It's around significant wrestling events. You were here less than a month ago because you and I and Amy attended AEW. We should also put out the other original member of the CDC, Cool Dads Club, was there too. Yes. So, the band was back together. I don't know. I'm assuming JK is working again tonight. I forgot to ask him. So hopefully he'll find us. This is a WWE production versus an AEW production. Lots of storylines. Later on in the show, I will make a very convincing argument for a title change tonight. Okay. A very convincing argument for a title change. One of the, we will have fun on this program. Boomer, you might know him from a little program called Barn Burner.
Yes.
And if you haven't checked out Barn Burner, do, kids. It's those guys got something there. They'll be good one day.
Just keep practicing.
Just keep practicing. Boomer's been texting me. He is taking his son tonight. Now, see, this is nothing Boomer would talk about on his show, right? Like, he has to use me as his proxy to talk about how excited he is. But my understanding is might not be the only wrestling show they see this weekend. So I don't want to give away any. I might have just given it away. Having said all of that, there is news in the world of mixed martial arts and combat sports. Endeavor yesterday kind of lost their bid in a Nevada court to stop a class action lawsuit being certified. A judge certified a lawsuit against UFC for suppression of wages. This one is from 2010 to 2017, I believe, and involves, I think it said, Jack, did I tell you 1,200? Yeah, 1,200 fighters.
1,200 fighters.
1,200 fighters have their names on this. Why is that important? Well, it's important because Endeavor just is closing a deal to buy the WWE. and you and I are both of the opinion that we're about to see. We might be seeing some people on this card for the last time in the WWE, at least in this incarnation. Lord knows you never say never, but we are anticipating that, once that deal closes, that the business of the WWE may change rather radically. In terms of internal, not external. I don't know if you'll notice it. You might on screen just because you might lose some people, but internally, I think in cost cutting, you look at travel, you look at promotion, you look at a lot of things that both of those companies do. You'd have to think they'll probably be combined. You would know a lot about this working for a organization that has five
multiple
teams,
properties,
properties, right? So interesting to see where this. I don't think it's overhanging over the show or anything, but I think it's in terms of a storyline. I think it's going to be a very big story, new sports business story here in the coming months.
Oh, it's super interesting for sure with the way that takeover, well, not takeover, the purchase happened, but I think with them owning UFC, you've kind of seen when they're changing the structure of UFC when Endeavor kind of took over as well. So kind of seeing it'll be interesting to see on the board of directors side. I think I even heard that Paul Levesque of Triple H is already not going to be part of the board of directors.
That's correct. Yeah.
When the purchase is official. So there's going to be a lot of interesting changes. It'll be very interesting to see how they handle the business. I know they're looking at a lot of dollars and cents, and they'll cut a lot of costs, which they WWE previously did on talent, but it sounds like it's more going to be behind in the office, like you said, travel costs and how many staff do we need in each department. And so
I know when the deal went deal went down originally, there was some talk about whether or not they would look at co-hosting or having weekends with WWE on one night and UFC on the other. I don't get the sense that that's happening anytime soon. Jack putting up this story, it's like you say, it's a significant story
for sure.
The one thing that I am wondering about is the international scene when it comes to professional wrestling. AEW, we mentioned, came to Calgary a month ago for the first time, are going to Wembley Stadium, and that show has become a bit of a lightning rod. And I profess that sometimes I don't pay close enough attention to the details. I didn't realize we were supposed to pick a brand, but apparently you're supposed to pick a brand, and this has become this lightning rod because they're gonna pack Wembley and they're gonna set records in Wembley.
Yeah, I think they already have just beat SummerSlam '92. They just passed the most tickets sold in the Wembley Stadium. So yeah, like I said, I'm a fan of all of wrestling, so all different kinds. So I think there's lots of people, but there are certain people that are divided that they like AEW for some reason, or they won't watch it because they're hardcore in the WWE. And there's a lot of great wrestling out there, and we've seen it even locally here with our
with Dungeon Wrestling.
Dungeon Wrestling, the independent scene has never been better. There's so much local talent here that deserves a shot, and hopefully one day they will get one, and hopefully we see them in some dark matches or some other main event matches tonight too.
That was a little bit of a disappointment for me. We're going to get to that AEW show because we never really talked about it. But that was a little bit of a not too many things disappointed me that night, but that was one of a little bit of a disappointment for me. We didn't see a lot of local. We saw a couple. There were a couple of local, but wasn't as many of the regulars as we've gotten to see. The only thing, the last point I'll make on the international component is I know WWE is going back to India. UFC has that international flavor too, or can have that international flavor. I'm wondering. Both are global brands. I don't think it's about becoming a global brand, but I wonder if they truly become global brands. I wonder how much the American market will always be the most important market for them, but I just wonder how much, how many more pay-per-views or what are they calling premium live events? Premium live events. Yeah. I wonder how many of those are going to find themselves in different parts of the world.
Yeah. And I just wonder also too, with the, cross promotions and how they're going to do. But even you saw when WWE went to Puerto Rico, I think for one of the premium live events there a few months ago, and it was unreal. The crowd was just so hot, and the response they got for a lot of the Latino World Order, and it was pretty cool. So I know it's super big all around the world, and I think it's building up again. I think we're in the kind of Attitude Era, and that was kind of the biggest it was all around the world, and there's still fans that are still around all over the world too. But I think now they're reaching out to other markets, and they're, the competition, AEW is also looking at other markets besides in, England and look who knows, Australia, I've heard, and other places like that. It'll be pretty interesting. And there's a lot of talent that have come to North America from all over the world. So it'll be pretty cool to kind of showcase more.
Well, I think most of the title belts right now are being held by Australians.
Yeah.
Right. It is kind of, it is absolutely. We'll go back to AEW in a second. I do want to make mention of the fact that we were wearing these today. Thank you so much. Which reminds me, I guess I should ask you, any Hannafin Lindholm news you'd like to break? Anything on Michael Backlund? Are you
no.
liberty to talk about? Have you done? Okay, let me ask you this way: are you ordering jerseys for Elias Lindholm?
I'm just going to stay in my lane and make sure that all of the great retail product that's coming this year all shows up on time. So I think I'll let Greg Conroy and the hockey ops maybe take care of that.
I just got a text from Boomer. I acknowledge you. Some will get that and think it's very funny. I thought it was hilarious, quite honestly. And there's some who are going, I don't get that. But Boomer, we acknowledge you. You are the tribal chief of Flames Nation. Yeah. And I guess that would make probably Rhett Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
Pinder's hair just really eliminates him from so much other than the Sami Zayn character from 6 to 8 months ago. And I would like to be the wise man. I would like to be I would like to be the wise man. I keep opening these can of worms. Okay. So you're not prepared to give us any inside information. You cannot tell us what, because my assumption is Craig Conroy makes a call, walks 30 feet to your office and goes, if I acquire Connor McDavid, can you make jerseys?
Yeah.
Right. Are those the kind of conversations
the final
you have?
say definitely
the final say comes to you
to retail. Yeah.
Right. Can we make a Connor McDavid jersey or a Austin Matthews jersey? Now, I say that with a full acknowledgement that there's 1 to 2 people out there who are now going to take that and go, there was a CSEC official on a podcast in Calgary who said Connor McDavid's going to become a Calgary Flame.
That is not true.
That is not true.
Let's squash it.
Probably not true. Yeah. Probably not true.
I'm willing to say it's
you're willing to go.
I don't like
E5,
to talk about hockey ops,
E5.
but I can. I can.
Okay. So enough.
Boldly predict that one.
I know. I'm just having fun at your expense. Talk about getting these shirts done, and what's the process for that? Who approaches who? How do you go about getting?
Yeah. So I've seen, being a huge wrestling fan, when they've WWE has done other live events and following along on their I'm always intrigued by their WWE shop, and now it's run by Fanatics and
who's bigger in the world right now,
for sure,
right?
Especially for all online sales.
Yeah.
So they've created special collaborations with other hockey teams that we've seen. The Oilers have done it, the Jets have done it, Sabres, lots of other teams. So then I reached out to our contact, Derek Castleman from the WWE, and now with kind of working through Fanatics. But reached out with him and said we would love the opportunity to create something to do that with the Flames and the WWE Smackdown brand. And so they went to their creative team, gave us a few options, and our team chose this one. So I think it's pretty cool as being passionate hockey fan and wrestling fan. It's kind of cool to kind of bring them both together. So for me, that was kind of really satisfying just to kind of be able to create something like this, and hopefully the fans like it. I think the response has been really good, but it's something that's unique for the event. It's just only you come to the event and you can purchase this, and it's something that just kind of hopefully builds up our brand and the WWE brand at the same time.
So when it's one of those things that I think a lot of people go, oh, that makes a lot of sense. But you are dealing with two iconic or, two brands, two logos that are, steeped in tradition or whatever. Nobody likes to mess with theirs, right? Like, nobody, you have certain colors that a Flames logo needs to be, right. Certain whites, yellows, blacks, all those sort of things. WWE, then saying, although the WWE has allowed you to go white and yellow here. How difficult is it to come to some sort of agreement on this?
This process was quite easy.
Okay.
Their creative team did an awesome job, and I wish we could have done more. There was, probably 6 options, really good options that we could.
I wish I could have seen them.
Kind of pick one. You did.
Oh, I did.
Is I allowed to say that, or?
I don't know. I think we're gonna probably get more in trouble than that than saying that Connor McDavid's coming here. So why no Blasty?
That was an option. I think it was just one thing that we kind of decided as a team that we
You're
wanted
never
to
going to
do.
come on the show again now.
No. Yeah.
Not a chance.
Well, hopefully next time. Actually, the next time we really want to do something with the Hitman brand is what we're kind of looking. We already kind of talked to Derek, said next event or next time they come through, maybe we'll do a collab with the Hitman. But this one, I think we wanted to. I think being a nice red T-shirt stands out with our logo. We're the Sea of Red, and there's going to be a lot of kind of black and gray other shirts on the merchandise board. If they'll give a little plug, if everyone's coming to the event, please stop by the booth. And there's lots of cool stuff.
So are you selling this, or is the WWE selling?
We
this?
sell it on their behalf, so it's just like any other event. We have a team that works it.
No, but I guess I was saying, like, if I go to the merch table,
yeah.
Good Lord knows our good friend Rick Tulsi's already promised pictures of the merch table because that's what the public wants. God bless him, Calgary's #1 ambassador and tour guide.
Award-winning
tour guide. Okay. How many do you do a big run? What is there a limit? How do you?
Yeah. So they came up with a design. We approved it to make sure that, like you said, for all logo branding, that everything was proper from their end and our end. And they're producing the product. All the product that's being sold is from the WWE, and then we just sell it. And then our staff, we take a little percentage, but it's our staff runs it. It's their product, same as every concert. Everybody brings in their own merchandise, sure. and our group sells it, and then they move on to the next town.
So fairly seamless to do these.
Yeah, it was. The process was really smooth. It was like I said, I wish we could have done a little bit more with creating some Hitman, but and some other teams. The Hitman is obviously a natural tie-in with Bret Hart being the namesake, and so we wanted to. Like I said, there's options, and we can do more in the future.
I hope so, because even when I was there, we were watching Monday Night Raw or I don't think you were watching. I was watching it, and Edge came out in Toronto, and he had the Calgary Hitman logo, a version of the Calgary Hitman logo on his tights.
Yeah.
And I remember sending it to you, and it was an homage to Bret, obviously. And it was incredible, right? That would have made a great T-shirt too.
Yeah, I think that's something that we're looking at. I think, and I don't believe that Edge is scheduled to be here this week. I think he's next week.
He's in Toronto.
Yeah. So it didn't quite work out this time, but hopefully next time for sure. We definitely have that on our radar to kind of create something cool, and hopefully the fans respond well to this one. I think it's really cool design. We're really excited about kind of being able to share the Flames brand out there, and on a huge stage.
I love those kind of collaborations. I think we need to do more of those collaborations. I think even some of the concerts, even some of the bands are starting to do those. Like Iron Maiden's always done that, haven't they? Like, didn't Iron Maiden always do a? Did they do a Canadian shirt, or did they do a city specific?
They did one with like the kind of
with Eddie.
Eddie was wearing like the like Team Canada.
That's what it was, right? But they wouldn't have one with a Flames jersey and an Oilers jersey on a tour.
No, sometimes some tours have done kind of posters that are city specific, and a lot of the tie-in for city is either
poster wise,
Saddle Dome or tie-in with the Flames or Oilers or whatever kind of whatever city. I'm just trying to think back. I think was it Blink-182 that did a Calgary specific design, and they had it kind of on. They had a little bit of tribute to everything local. And
so, knowing what I know about your life, even as the chief concierge of retail at CSEC, how many internal requests did you get? Because
quite a few. Yeah, I've been on vacation this week, but
have you?
My phone's been lighting up.
Yeah?
Yes, which is good.
Which is the highest level? GM? Would it be GM? Has a GM called you and said, "Hey, I need some of them"?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
But my phone's
it's right
here. Yeah,
Craig, as you can see, it's there. So if you need the jersey or you need the shirt,
he won't break any news on signings or anything like that. But if he needs a shirt,
you're the first guy to call.
He'll let me know.
Yeah, and you got Brett to model it.
Yes, yeah, pretty cool. Like I said, with our Hitman, with a relationship with the Hitman, and through Jade and Amy, they kind of coordinated something. It's always cool just to have that working relationship with Brett and his family, and that it was no hesitation. We asked, "Can you please kind of model the shirt and put it on?" And it was no questions asked. It was pretty cool.
Which is a really beautiful way of us transitioning back to the AEW show on July 15th. And we were able to, I cannot put this picture enough. I know we really, it was a struggle for Jack that day. He had a hard time finding the pictures we wanted.
Did you queue up the right ones? And
Yeah.
labeled them
We've
this
had a
time?
conversation. Yeah. So we're going to go back to the 15th and show you some trios champions. How about that? So
yeah, there we go.
Okay. So that's that. For those who don't know, that's FTR and CM Punk on the left side, but that's from a year ago, right? So
Yeah, a year or two.
We told the story last time. You sent those jerseys, and we thought, oh, I guess they didn't get them.
Yeah.
And then out of the blue, not only did they get them, they did a photo shoot with them. So those Bret Hart jerseys, and then Amy, who's on the bottom playing the role of CM Punk, made us CDC shirts for that event.
Yes.
So we recreated
special tie-dye versions.
Okay. We have we're not now. At the end of the show, it's a teaser. This is what we call a teaser in the business. You're going to have to stay to the end to find out what we're wearing tonight. Safe to say, when you see us on the concourse, stop us and take pictures, because the CDC, I mean,
You'll know it's
CDC
us.
is life. You'll know it's us, right? Loved the show on the 15th. Loved all of it, in the sense of it started at 5 and went till 10, and recorded our Ring of Honor before and after, and then 3 hours of live television in there with Collision and then Battle for the Belts. We got a Meltzer 5-star, I believe, is what he gave FTR and Bullet Club Gold.
For sure.
I think it's the best wrestling match I've ever seen live. I don't want to say it was the best wrestling match at the Dome, because I still think the Canadian Stampede and the main event of that one is going to be hard to top, but it was fantastic. We got to see our boy Orange Cassidy, although you're welcome. Yeah, I think I'm going to go downstairs and check on the warehouse. You may want to stay. We might be hearing Jane right away. And it was
cute.
It was cute,
like a
right?
movie.
Like he let off the Battle of the Belts. It's not here are all the pluses and here are all the negatives. The negative for me was the crowd. I just wish it was bigger. Like, I don't understand why it wasn't bigger. It was hot. It was good. Cheered at the right places. It was fun. It was all of those sort of things. People were having a great time, but I don't understand why it wasn't bigger.
Yeah, it was me too, but I think it was still a really good, passionate crowd. I think
it was a great Canadian crowd.
Over
sure.
6,000, and they're very knowledgeable. I think that's what a lot of AEW fans are, super knowledgeable, passionate wrestlers. I think the kind of little bit of the knock on maybe AEW, or what some people I know have commented about, they kind of are there for that core fan that loves professional wrestling, loves all different styles of professional wrestling, but they haven't done a lot to kind of expand it yet. And maybe Wembley Stadium will be their first kind of chance to really kind of expand it and grow it to people that are outside just that core.
But can you do that and keep everybody happy?
No, never. You never can, right? So I thoroughly enjoyed the show too. And like I said, that match was a 58-minute tag team match, and it wasn't like, it was just the way that they told the story throughout that match. The 2 out of 3 falls, the crowd was hanging. And
it was never slow.
No, but even if there was little lulls where the fans weren't, because it wasn't like high spot for an hour. Yeah. But it was still like, it had a little bit of slow burn, but the crowd, you could tell that they were like, when they were quiet, they were thinking about it, and they were engaged in watching every move, every little suplex, every little, do a sharpshooter, or, when
there was a lot of homages to Brett. Yeah. There, right.
Yeah.
Good and bad, which I thought were fantastic.
And even like, for the heel part for Jay White, he was pretending to do the super kick, and then like, Shawn Michaels, and everyone booed, and then he turned it into a sharpshooter, and then the crowd was even booing even more. And it was like, it's just, they had everybody hooked for that whole hour. And I thought it was really, really cool. Just the subtle little things of what they did for the storytelling, from a storytelling point of view, where it's not just, like I said, action the whole time. It just makes you think, and I really enjoyed that part of the wrestling for sure.
It's well documented. I've talked about it a lot. It's what saved me during COVID, was you and I watching wrestling for the last 3 years weekly, and getting on FaceTime, and then, but also kind of understanding it better now. So this was kind of the first, no, I would say those dungeon wrestling ones were too, but this was the first big live show that I went to and really appreciated some of the mechanics.
Mhm.
The selling in that main event was fantastic.
For sure.
Like, it was really fantastic. I thought all four guys were fantastic and great to get to see FTR. Not necessarily, when they were the Revival, it was like, well, they're never, are they ever going to come here? And then AEW is never going to come here. Well, we saw them. Orange Cassidy was a hoot. Like, it was everything I'd hoped for. Really fun to be there when Daddy Ass and the Acclaim came out, because of the fan reaction to that. They didn't do anything.
No.
Amy was shocked. Amy, who was with us, who's not a big fan, so a lot of this was new, was very kind of surprised by all of it.
Yeah, we've given her a heads up on a few different
things,
wrestlers and everything, and then after that, she's like, "You didn't tell me about the scissoring."
No.
But it's something else.
We have a special guest.
We have a special guest. What? I'm not prepared for this. Who is this? Oh! Wow.
Let me tell you something right now. You guys are talking about this AEW and stuff. You know what? Tonight is about the best and the biggest in the world. It's the WWE. You guys better get yourself focused and get yourself right and be ready for it tonight, because I don't want any more of this talking about CM Punk and nothing. Let's go. It's about LA Knight. Yeah. The island of relevancy. Acknowledge me. Are you going to acknowledge your tribal chief tonight?
We already have. We acknowledged you early on when you texted me. Of course we did.
I did see that. I meant the actual tribal chief. I don't know what's going on with the bloodline. Jimmy was out. Now is Jimmy back in? I don't know what's going on with Solo.
He's had
enough?
If you take Bret Hart out of the equation, is the tribal chief being here as a part of the bloodline storyline, is that not the biggest wrestling event in the history of Calgary? All due respect to what we saw a month ago, it's probably the best storyline in wrestling in the last 2 or 3 decades. I was going to say 3 or 4 decades, but 2 or 3 decades. I'm not sure. And again, taking Bret right out of the equation, because that changes everything, and it does. But non-Bret event, is this not the biggest wrestling event in the history of Calgary?
Well, I'd almost have to defer to Gibby. Did Stone Cold or The Rock ever swing through in their prime? Because that would be about it, right?
I think they have, but I don't think it's been like that build up to this story. And like you said, even when you mentioned LA Knight too, like he's like taking off like a rocket too, and it'll be, if he goes out there, the crowd pops are unbelievable. So I think we're watching kind of something special when we're seeing his growth, and then we're seeing, like I said, the best storyline with Roman Reigns. It's and the bloodline. It's pretty cool for sure. I was thinking about that too. And even when you watch, like, which we're not supposed to talk about AEW, not supposed to talk about the past. Sorry, Boomer. But
acknowledge him.
I acknowledge you. I'm sorry about that. But I just want to say, there's a lot more. That was. Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you. But no, honestly, I mean, just to get back to that,
there was like so much,
question,
like that was all wrestling, right? And this is going to be like just like, but this is stories that everyone is. Roman Reigns is probably like one of the highest rated segments in the past few weeks was they had like a tribal ceremony, and it was like 20 minutes long or more, and everybody was just. I
think The Rock and Stone Cold had moments. They're huge. I'm not taking anything away. They never had a storyline like this. The one time Steve Austin got.
Yeah. Like Hogan, Andre, right? From when we were young, right? That when Andre turns on Hogan, WrestleMania 3 and all that, that was really big. I just remember as a kid, that blew my mind. Yep. I'll be honest, it's been a long time since I've watched wrestling, and I've kind of got back into it. Their writing and creative has absolutely sucked me in. I don't know who's more excited, me or my kid, for this thing tonight. And I was like, oh man, if Roman doesn't show up, that's going to be such a bummer. I felt like I was 13 again. Oh man, Roman's going to be here. That's going to be great. I'm kind of surprised.
Well, I texted you,
to be honest. Yeah.
Because on Sunday, the Sunday, if you saw it, Paul Heyman put out a tweet from Hawaii, and the dirt sheets all said, well, he's off now till October. And then it came up on Monday, and I immediately texted Gibby and go, he's coming. Like, I thought we were going to get LA Knight. I thought, okay, well, you're not getting Roman, but you're going to get LA Knight. And now I think we might get both. Now we better get both.
Yeah, because we saw that Rhea Ripley, right? She's going to be with Natalya, and then it's AJ Styles. Like, oh,
okay.
So
let me ask you that though. That's the title change I want tonight.
Yeah.
I knew that's the one you're talking about. I knew you were talking about that. What was it WrestleMania when Rhea beat her in like 8 seconds?
Yep.
Rhea Ripley, you know what? It's like Triple H said in the post, listen to me, I watched the press conferences after SummerSlam on the weekend. She's the leader of that group.
Oh, yeah.
When you think about it, right? Yeah. She's awesome.
But bear with me here. If you take a page out of the 80s, right? How do you get to the multiples, right? 16 time, 19 time. Trust me, in some of those 16 times, there's a couple of quick losses and quick wins again, right? You have this storyline with Raquel, is it Raquel Gonzalez? I can't. Anyway,
don't hurt yourself
here, yeah.
But Natalya being Calgary, being the good warrior, doing everything she's done, does it not make sense in her hometown to have her win over Rhea with outside help? So Natalya gets her moment in her city. She wins the title. Thank you. And the next week or Monday you rip it off of her in Winnipeg and you beat her down like you did at WrestleMania. Yeah. But then you move that other storyline ahead that you can get to Survivor Series with, because right now Rhea Ripley looks unbeatable.
She does look unbeatable. And I'll tell you what, I know what you're saying. And having not been an avid watcher for so long, I'm still kind of shocked to see who's been a Universal champion and who's a 6, 7, 8-time champ. I prefer this, where Gunther, I've come around on him totally, that he's close to being the honky tonk, that they're going for the longevity.
Yeah,
that they're putting
Roman
time
Reigns,
into the title reigns.
Bruno Sammartino
over 1,000 days.
I think that's way better than
you do.
Tonight there's a title change. When Roman drops the belt, it's going to be massive. It's going to be huge, and I don't. For Gunther, like who's it going to be? It's not Drew McIntyre, at least not yet. I think it's great. I really do.
So do we get does Santos Escobar take it off of Austin Theory tonight? Because Theory does nothing for me. I see it, I get it, but he doesn't move the needle. Escobar gives you an inroad again into the Latino community, which I think is very important, and I think he's a great performer. Mm-hmm. But I think it's almost a placeholder. Because I think that's got to be LA Knight. That's got to be LA Knight's belt.
Can LA Knight go right to the Intercontinental, or does he have to do the U.S. title first, I wonder?
I think that's where we were talking about that too before. But I think that U.S. title seems to be the next step. There's always kind of most of the ones before they go to the main title, because you look at the kind of the storylines right now too, and with the Money in the Bank and I think the way that Judgment Day, the way that they have telling that story
Damian
right now,
Priest,
Damian Priest and Finn Balor, how they're kind of fighting for each other towards belt. I think LA Knight's got to win like the U.S. title. Like you said, Gunther's got to make his long run before he drops it. I think that it makes sense for LA Knight to kind of win the U.S. title, and then.
But how quickly does LA Knight need a belt? Because right now he doesn't need.
He doesn't. No, he really doesn't. And you talk about Damian Priest. He's another one of those guys that whatever they do with Judgment Day, when that comes to an end, if and when it does, Rhea's so strong. I think he's terrific too. I think we have no idea. He's so big and powerful, and he could go into the ring with a Brock Lesnar and you'd believe it. Whereas, the whole Cody thing, I had a hard time. I didn't know why it started. We had a hard time buying in. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to pump Cody up and all of that, but I think Priest and LA Knight, I think there's some legs there. They got to get this sword thing out of Drew McIntyre, this Scottish warrior. Look at my sword. I can't get past it. I think if he just shave your chest and cut your beard off or something.
Whoa!
I know. But the roster's so great. It's hard for an Austin Theory because he's been leapfrogged without losing the title.
Yeah. He just does nothing for me. But I go back to this again. It comes back to Vince again, and I'm all in on LA Knight. But there's part of me that goes, how are you going to book them now? Like because you can't map them. You can't just say, well, Stone Cold did this. We were talking about this. Did you see the Miz LA Knight on Monday? Was that LA Knight's, 316 promo that Stone Cold cut it at King of the Ring, right?
They're trying, right?
They promo for him.
Yeah, they really tried to pump that as his, crowning moment or his breakthrough moment. Whereas I don't know. I think he's broken through. He's got this Slim Jim, the endorsement deal now, so he's not going anywhere. They're going to need to have him out front facing for quite a while. But to your point, I don't think he needs a belt. It was kind of like the Undertaker, right? And not to compare the two, but you look back, it's like,
oh no,
Undertaker never was really a champion. Never needed to be a champion. He was just the gimmick was so great, and he was so great. He didn't need. They have
to evolve it though. They have to evolve his story. So it's like just to kind of they've got lightning in a bottle right now, and I'm just very worried that they're just going to let it fizzle out.
So let me play devil's advocate. If there's a criticism of LA Knight, he's a complete copy and ripoff of both Stone Cold and The Rock, and I see it. I get it. I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny that I'm not 100% sure that doesn't eliminate the what chance. I wonder if that if that becomes, and we don't hear what anymore. We just hear in everybody else's promos.
His shirts from a retail standpoint, they just put out there that on the WWE shop, his shirts are number 1, 2, and 3 right now. That's how hot he is for selling merchandise and everything too. Like he's super hot.
And he's been at this for a long time. Yeah. Like this character isn't new, right?
No, he's been when he was Eli Drake, and he did the same stuff. Like he's evolved it, but he did the and everything. Let me talk to you for everybody, and like he's just doing that for 15, 20 years. But now it's just like it's caught on. Like it's unbelievable.
Because I'm in the LA Knight camp. I do wish that his finisher wasn't so close to the stunner and that he wasn't doing the people's elbow. Like, stop doing the elbow. At least you're right. At least move on from that because it's hard.
But is that us? Is that a function of our age? Because your son would never have seen like that's son. He's doing it just like the greats did, right?
Yeah,
and I think that's one of the things that's drawn to it because he's like a throwback of the Attitude Era, which was one of the biggest. I think that's what some fans have bought into him, right? Because of that, it's just got that throwback look.
His promos, his promos, it's very close to turn that sumbitch sideways and stick it up the candy ass and what the Rock, it's very close.
Yeah.
And then
let's do something else we could put on a t-shirt.
Yeah. So I mean, I see it, but at the same time, with how old he is, he would have been like you're impressionable, and who wasn't talking like Stone Cold? You'd have to work hard not to sound a lot like those guys when they're your heroes. But anyway, I'm here for it. I don't mind it.
You mentioned the island of relevancy. Will I want to talk to you, or will ladies and gentlemen, which is going to get the bigger pop? Because I won't lie, to get to see the wise man, to get to see Paul Heyman is something I never thought I'd get.
Yeah, me too. I hope he does my name is Paul Heyman. He doesn't do it all the time, so I sure hope he does. But when that slow march down to the ring with that new boom, 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 like the music, I don't know how you top that. Like I can't believe that we're sitting here talking about this. Old farts talking about wrestling. Totally sucked us in. And Heyman's a genius, and Tripp, and they know what they're doing. The show's amazing, and they've got two of them. Then you've got the Raw. Their roster is just stacked right now to try and break through. Like you got Seth freaking Rollins, he's got a belt. You almost forget about him half the time.
I do. Like I would, it's funny if you ask me, okay, who you want to see at the top of the card right now? He's not there yet for me yet.
Yeah.
That song and that introduction, it's right up there with LA Knight's response right now, isn't it?
Yeah. And he's a great performer. He really is. But I can't imagine, a week ago, was he going to headline SummerSlam? Well, where's Roman? Where are the other guys? It's a great thing great time to be a fan because those guys are so good. But I don't see a title change tonight, Rob. Sorry.
You don't, eh?
No, I don't either.
Rhea's too
it
strong.
Just makes so much sense to me. It just makes because you give Natalya that piece that Brett really never got it, right? Like Brett never. I mean, he had the pay-per-view here, but that was a 10-man tag, right? He never, did he get that moment in his hometown? He got a moment in Saskatoon, which was great, and of course, there was a moment in Montreal, but that's not the same. But I think you could do it in the storyline, because then it makes Rodriguez more credible, right? Now there's and exactly what you said, Boom. She beat her in 9 seconds or whatever at WrestleMania. So you can always get it back on Monday, right? And then Rhea becomes a
everyone.
Yeah. I just wonder with Judgment Day if you see Priest turn in the briefcase and take the belt from Rollins or whoever's got it. And then you got goofy Dom Mysterio, who is so over. It's unbelievable.
Is he here tonight?
He's got.
I don't know.
He's got
Rhea's there,
right.
Maybe
he's got that strap, and then Rhea's got hers, and then if Priest had another one, you can kind of see how that could come together.
And was she now that they all are going to have titles or that with the briefcases, it's like you said, everybody's waiting for that whole group to all kind of hold belts.
Yeah.
I think, and like you said, I think Rhea's she's showing that she's the leader right now, and she's dominating the division, and she's destroying everybody, and she's trying to hold everybody might pretty cool.
Might be one of the more impressive runs by a female wrestler in a long time.
She's fantastic.
She is.
She really is. She's dynamite. Yeah.
And if you remember her first WrestleMania moment with Charlotte, she just couldn't rise to that occasion, right? And everybody was, she doesn't have it. But it's you said it off the bat, there's some really good writing. There's some of it doesn't work. I'm frustrated with Karrion Kross. I think he needs to have Scarlett really needs to have a more prominent place. But he, even AJ Styles, my God, we've gone all this while. We haven't even talked about seeing AJ Styles live tonight, right? Which is going to be quite a treat.
Well, and of course it's due to injury, but we're the tag team champions, the undisputed champs. They weren't at SummerSlam. You've got KO's hurt, and if that's a real elbow injury for Sami Zayn, then are they going to have to abandon these titles? What are they doing? We haven't talked about. There hasn't been any tag team title news almost since WrestleMania.
But how good is the tag division right now?
Yeah, so
there's a lot of strength here right now.
If you're breaking up the best tag team, arguably with the Usos too, but I still at the same time want to see Jimmy versus Jay on a big premium live event.
Why wouldn't
you? Like to see.
Yeah.
I think that they've even talked about that. One a dream match would be against each other. So, but the tag team division, there's not any other contenders, right? Pretty Deadly. There's a few other ones, but
but they're hurt again too.
Yeah.
Right. The Viking Raiders got beat again on it's a tough game to have all of your different silos or all your different belts being at the top, right? Yeah. It's really tough. You said Gunther has brought the Intercontinental title back from not oblivion, but it means what it used to mean in the 80s when Savage held it and Steamboat took it. That was the second best belt. All due respect to Seth Rollins, I think the second best belt in the WWE right now is that one.
Well, to Boomer's point, though, it wouldn't be like that if he didn't have the close to beating Honky Tonk Man's record, right? When we talked about changing titles, he's had it for a long time, and he's actually brought that back.
Oh, I agree.
Sure.
And they've allowed it to happen, right?
Yeah.
And there's no history behind the World Championship belt, right? It's not even a year old. Why is it around, right? It just kind of popped up. We're all cut from the same cloth. I always loved the Intercontinental, right? It was Savage and Steamboat at WrestleMania 3, and then Brett had it for so long. I always loved the IC Championship. So I do, and this guy can pull it off. When you watch Gunther, you can believe that this is a guy who's had it for as long as he does. What's it going to take? It's going to take somebody big and strong, and I love the chops. I love that they're bringing the chops back. It's so great. They're laying them in so hard. You can see it on their chest. Yeah. Guys are getting pissed off. It's so old school. I just love it.
So tell me a little bit about your son's appreciation or love of wrestling. Is it the same as yours when you were younger? Does he see it differently? Does he watch it differently? I mean, he obviously can consume it differently than you could. But are you watching it through his eyes at all?
It's so much easier for him because there's so much of it. You've got every Friday and Monday, and then once a month you've got an unbelievable Saturday event. For us, it was Maple Leaf Wrestling, maybe on a Saturday afternoon, and then man, if my cable channel, is it Detroit or Chicago? Which cable package do we have? Do we have Saturday night's main event? It doesn't show up in the TV guide because the TV guide's never right. You just have to flip on the right channel at the right time. So that's what it was. It was so hard to, if you didn't catch Saturday night's main event, you missed a lot, and there was no telling when it was coming on. Whereas here, it's automatic, and with the app, you can go and watch anything ever. I think that's kind of how it started. Was we got the WWE on a kind of a trial thing, so I went back and started watching some old stuff. Being the old dad, back in my day, this guy was great. Let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about this guy. And I think it was just some of the stuff like DX and the screw job in Montreal and all of that sort of stuff. It kind of, wow, okay, all right. And then watching, it was Mick Foley going off the top of the cell with The Undertaker, that match. They were like, oh my God. And then you show them Shane McMahon went off the top of that thing too. And then it just started to build from there. And to their credit, you go from the greatness of 15, 20, 30 years ago to now. It's different, but it's as entertaining, and it doesn't take you long before you're sucked right into it. So I think that's what it's been. It's been short-lived, but yeah, he's been telling me every day, 6 more days, Dad, 6 more, 5 more days,
really,
4 more days.
We're talking about a teenager, folks. So we're not talking about a young guy here. Like he's right into it and really excited about it. How did he enjoy his Surge game on Sunday?
Oh, loved it. Yeah, it was a blast. I'm happy for those guys, and first year success. That's awesome. 3,000 people there on Sunday, and I was telling you, all 3,000 were loving every minute of it. They were all in. I'd rather have 3,000 of passionate hardcores than 5 who are just kind of there to see. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. It was a great night. It was a great night.
No, it was good. It was good. Okay. What do you expect? What do you need to see? What do you need to check off tonight?
We need to know what's up with Jimmy Uso. Because my kid's disgusted. For a couple days after that, he was
couldn't believe it. Hey, turn on his own brother.
What's Jimmy doing? What's Jimmy doing?
Is this Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels, or is this? I mean, what's the comparable? Right?
Yeah.
Anytime someone comes in the ring with a hoodie, it's just like, who's it going to be? Who is that?
Well,
I'm hoping they bring it out.
The brass knucks. Who gave Logan Paul the brass knucks on Saturday?
Yeah, we don't know. We still don't know.
That guy was in a hood. Who the heck was that? Jimmy? Is Jimmy just screwing everybody?
Jimmy's just wearing hoods, going around.
Let's get some answers.
Just a full.
I want an elder. I want an elder. I want Rikishi.
I do too. Where's Rikishi? Right? Get out there.
Give me an elder, a tribal elder to come and settle this. That's what I think's missing in this right now.
And I bet you, I bet you it's in the plan because they keep talking, what inning are we in? Bottom of the third, this whole storyline with the bloodline that they're still really just kind of making it.
I thought it was over when Sami Zayn turned on him.
Yeah.
Right? I thought it was over with Sami Zayn.
And you felt terrible for Sammy when he didn't win in Montreal.
Yeah, in Montreal, right?
They
got to give him another shot. They got to give him another shot, right?
And then Cody doesn't beat him. So now it's who's going? Is it going to take another round, another year, and then get Cody back into it? Who's taking this strap off of him, or is it one of the? Is it one of the Usos?
And it depends on how much you put it into dirt sheets, but The Rock's name comes up again. Like I think everybody wants that Rock Roman fight, right? But I don't know if that needs to be for a belt. I don't know. Because you wouldn't want, is Rock a threat for a belt? No, but is he, that would be kind of the Hogan Rock match, right? Like it'd be the flip of that.
Right.
The Rock fought Hogan at that time.
We're throwing in for like the tribal chief, like it's all can blend right in, right? And you can insert him anytime.
Absolutely.
For sure. I think I don't know what's going to happen, obviously, but my gut tells me that Cody Rhodes is going to beat him at WrestleMania, next WrestleMania. I think Cody's going to be the next one to take that, because he's just had that journey. He got kicked down, and then he's building back up again. He's gone through all the struggles, and then when it finally happens, which will be the biggest stage of them all, I think the crowd will just go nuts for him. And that's how I feel it's going to happen, but who knows?
So, okay, if we're going to do the fantasy booking, then a year from now, are we coming off of the rematch between Roman and Cody, or are we coming off LA Knight and Cody? Because I go back to the Attitude Era, and your point's a good one, really good one, Dean. Like, they're giving these guys time now. If you remember the Attitude Era, Mick Foley's got the title. Oh, now the Stone Cold's got the title. Now the Rock's got the title. And now. Like, you get it for 3 or 4 months, but you didn't get these kind of runs. So is that going to continue?
The Cody one's interesting because it looked like maybe he was going to go with Rollins and then Shinsuke Nakamura with the dive bomb there the other night. So that's obviously they're going to put some legs on that. I don't know what's next for Cody. It just feels like you can't insert Cody into this storyline right now. You've built up the bloodline, and now this infighting with Jay's turned on Roman, and now Jimmy's turned on Jay, and we don't know what's up with Solo. That could go for a year, right? Like, it could be Solo versus Roman at WrestleMania. Like, who knows?
Are we all Solo guys? Like, I'm sold on Solo. I love the character. Like, in this storyline,
they're not letting them talk, because it makes it easier to hate him, because all he does is come in and cheap shot guys and spike them and not do anything.
They're not rushing.
I've seen interviews. The guy talks fine. Like, he could be on the mic, but they're keeping that kind of. He's a heel, but all of a sudden, if he's gonna be a threat, then he can be over. I get Rikishi and him to come out as a pair in the ring. Those two big boys would be great. But that's the best part of it, was we don't know. We have no idea what to expect, and they've done a great job of it, because I think probably if we time machine and go back. I didn't see Andre turning on Hogan, I guess. Hogan at Bash at the Beach when he goes NWO, I didn't see that coming. But you kind of knew what was going to happen. It was very deliberate, and the acting wasn't very good. It's like, oh, he's gonna stab him in the back, and he's going, okay. So sure enough, that happened. But with these guys, I got no. Is it crazy to think that Jimmy and Jay set this thing up to take down Roman? Are they
absolutely?
Who knows? Right? Yeah. It's so great.
They absolutely could.
Yeah.
I like I said,
could be.
Like I said before, I thought it was a good run, and then Sammy's out, so I guess that's all we're going to get. And somehow, some people are, people are always going to complain. Oh, it's long. Sorry. This is why I tune in. I want to see the next. Yeah. I want to see the next part of this. I want to see, obviously LA Knight. I'm very curious to see. This is a really fun night coming up tonight, guys. It just is, because there's so many things that are involved in it, right?
Well, it was when you asked what do you want to see, and then we're all been talking about the storyline and everything. We haven't even talked about a match that we want to see, right? It's like, what's going to happen with Jimmy, and what's going to happen? Like, it's so well done that it's just
and they've set,
it's intriguing.
Right? They set up Austin Theory and Escobar Santos for like 3 weeks now, right? And it's an afterthought.
Yeah, right, like a U.S. title match with.
Yay. Yes. Are we all in agreement? Yes. We want Santos to win. Yay. I won't lie.
Jack's on fire with the pictures today, though, by the way.
Jack's got it down pat.
Yeah, he's figured out a great job.
He's figured out who all the wrestlers are.
On fire.
The last one on the 15th was a little, actually.
This one says Santos. I think this is what they're talking about.
Really? Of all the titles, the guy I want to see win a belt tonight, you know which one I want, Jack? This is the guy I want to see walking around with the title, because he's in the picture. He has one in the pic.
I was just queuing.
There he is. Hey, there's the guy that needs to go home with some hardware tonight.
Yeah,
right? We're all looking for that.
Yeah, undisputed.
Yeah.
Some guys just look better wearing the strap, right? Some guys just look more natural with the gold.
Absolutely. I don't know how he doesn't have it now. That's what I don't get.
Exactly.
When he heading
it's
down?
Awesome. Dude.
Are you guys going to be down early? Yeah.
Doors open at 4:15. If they sell out of LA Knight shirts before we get one, it's going to be
there
a
early.
disaster.
I think those ones are going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
can buy these too, by the way.
I like
these are on
that.
sale.
That's well done. It's good.
Yeah.
You know a guy, apparently.
I know. We know guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know a
do
guy.
we want to reveal our outfits for tonight while Boomer's on the line?
Sure.
Do you want to see the CDC outfits for tonight?
Let's go. Of course. You can't tease it and then not do it.
All right. So if we can go back and show what we wore at AEW, and this was all Amy. So if we go back to that one.
She decided that we all had to wear matching outfits.
She decided we had to wear matching outfits.
So, as you should.
As
naturally,
we should. Yeah. So this is, again, CDC shirts, right? A little bit of tie-dye.
Good looking. It's a good looking crew.
I mean, who are professional athletes and who aren't, it's hard to tell.
I can't tell. Spider-Man.
But this, yes, it really is, right? So then that inspired Amy. She said it wasn't good enough. She had to do more. So this is what the three of us will be wearing tonight. You can start off. You can see we've all got our own faces on these outfits. Plus, if you go to the next one, we've got the logo. Now it's a little AEW-ish, but it works, right?
Yeah, maybe.
And of course, this is the totality of it. Yes, we'll be wearing pajamas.
Very nice.
There's a little bit of comfort.
There's a little bit of Randy Savage homage in there that I can.
Definitely,
I can appreciate.
Absolutely, little dude love.
Dude love.
Dude love in there.
Huh? Superstar Billy Graham.
Absolutely superstar in there for sure.
Buddy.
Yeah, well, we got a bald guy.
Yeah.
So
token bald guy.
No, it's token. You know what though? You're right. It's. I think it's awesome. It sounds goofy, and we're in on the joke, right? It's all these guys about wrestling. We're in on the joke, right? You get it, and all that. But
it's supposed to be fun.
It's not just a house show, right? It's not just they're going to do some matches. Millions and millions of people are watching this thing tonight from the Dome, and you know that there's going to be something every week, every show. There's some sort of a swerve or a twist. So if you got a ticket and you're going tonight, you expect the unexpected, expect anything to happen, which is so exciting. I've been to a lot of those shows that you still like them, and they're house shows, and you get to see some of the guys, but it never has the same. Even I was at a Raw years and years ago, and it didn't really have the kind of pop that this is going to have tonight. So it's pretty cool. I'm happy. It's cool to see this
the last
in town.
WWE live show I was at, Bret Hart took on the Patriot Del Wilkes in the main event of Raw. But what I remember about that was we were on the opposite of the camera side. And if you remember, that's when Owen and the Bulldog and Pillman and Bret, they had the Canadian flags. It was that era. And they were yelling at somebody. And then you saw Stone Cold Steve Austin come through the crowd, jump the fence, come in the back of the ring, come up to the ring, and then knock him down, right? But it was a Stone Cold thing. I am very excited to see what this is like tonight. We've talked about all of these potential pops and the noise. And not to get serious for a second here, but there's lessons to be learned. What other sport allows you to go and be as big a part of the action? I mean, we've talked more about the crowd in many ways and the reaction the crowd's going to have than the actual wrestlers themselves, right? Who else does that?
Do we know when would they have gotten in? And Gibby, you might know. When did they get in to start putting up the rigging and all of that? Because
don't you follow Rick Tulsi?
They light.
Yeah, they started setting up yesterday. It's a whole day to set up that.
Yeah,
they set up the ring and the monitors and everything, get it ready for TV production. Yeah, it's an extra day for sure that they don't just do it this morning like most shows. So it's like another whole day.
Yeah, they got to light the crowd. Like that was a big turn, right? Where it just felt like they were in a big smoky room and it was just darkness in the background. Now they got to light the wrestlers and they got to light the ramp and the crowd and pyro and the screen. It's crazy.
So many different camera angles and the crane that kind of goes past through the crowd and it's something else. It's quite the show. So it'll be fun to be part of that for sure.
Yeah, pretty great.
Did you get good tickets? Are you sitting? Because we got pretty good.
We're going to be okay.
Do.
Yeah.
Are you? We're going to see a front row, aren't we?
He's going in the
ring.
But
you know what, though?
He's wearing. Are you wearing a hoodie?
Are you wearing a hoodie? Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot say. You can't see, can you? But I am led to believe that somebody will be ringside with a Barn Burner T-shirt on, looking to get some love for some Flames Nation. So you can keep your eye open for that. So that's
Ryan
that's
Pike,
right.
You beautiful bastard.
yeah. But it's we're okay to be this excited, right? This is okay for us.
Okay. I'm so tired of, like, I'll do the serious shows. I'll do the we can talk about the Commonwealth Games not coming, and we can talk about DEI issues, and absolutely, I'll take him head on. But sports is supposed to be fun, and this is fun. Yeah. And you know what, Boom? I was thinking about this for 20 years when I was on sports talk radio. You better not talk about it. Like, you'll face some criticism. People will look at, I can't listen to you about my hockey. You like wrestling. And now I'm like, I've said it. If it wasn't for this guy over here during COVID, I would have gone insane. But we went back and we embraced it and we watched it again with fresh eyes. And it's an art form. It's entertainment. It's not for everybody. Cool. But I'm not going to go see Barbie, and that's okay. You guys go watch Barbie. I could care less if Taylor Swift comes. Don't care. This I like. This I like.
And you know what? And I think the biggest part of it is that they have embraced the fact that people know what's going on.
Yes.
They have not. Yes. They haven't fought it. It's like, no, we can't let them see behind the scenes. We can't tell them that it's this, and we can't tell them that everyone knows what it is, and it's made it better somehow.
So the only and Brent and I talked about this a lot, but I need to know about your son. Because I remember going to the library and sitting down with my best friend going, did you watch Owen Hart this weekend on Stampede Wrestling? It can't be fake. Like, it has to be real. What he does, it's real, right? Like, you're convincing yourself that what you're watching is real. What about your son? Did he ever have that transformational moment? Like, is this real? Is it, kind of that, Santa Claus moment? Did he have that? Or has he had that?
Because like you say, you've got the dirt sheets. And it's just so everyone's in on it. You get Triple H in the press conference, basically telling you what's going on, and then almost, and then tongue in cheek. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see what's up with Solo and Roman here. It might be something. Like, only then do you actually the kayfabe come in, like tongue in cheek near the end. And I think it's that it took a long time, and I know a lot of the traditionalists, and I think Brett is that way, don't like it. And I saw Jeff Jarrett. He hates the fact that they're openly talking about the storylines and traveling together and stuff like that. Because remember, it was the curtain call, right? When that was such a big deal,
absolutely.
Which really wasn't that long ago. And that was massive to see that these guys actually might like each other.
Yeah.
They've embraced it. And it had to have been a very conscious and hard decision to go with some of that stuff and let these guys do podcasts, because some of the stuff you've seen with The Undertaker. Did you guys watch The Last Ride?
No.
I've seen some, but like how he protected his character he wouldn't do do certain things. He just wouldn't do to protect the business and
the Spinneroonie character. He wouldn't do the Spinneroonie.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do the Taker Rooney.
All the wrestlers.
Yeah.
All the wrestlers would try to break him every house show.
Yeah. But they followed Undertaker for 3 years. And there's their personality, and you get to see behind the scenes and what it all is. So it's awesome. I wouldn't have thought that was the way. I thought you'd need that mystery and that mystique, but it's pretty great.
When you think about all the things at our age that have gone away, right? Video rental and buying records and all. Wrestling should have been one of them. Yeah. The gig's up. We know what's going on. Right. We can't buy into it. You can make a case in many ways has never been hotter.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably since the Attitude Era for sure, like 30 years.
Because the Saddle Dome has never played host to 2 different companies within a month. For television shows, never. Yeah. And it's a reality now.
Yeah. And it's pretty cool that it's going to be a huge crowd for a big show tonight. I know I heard you talking about it. It's much the same in Winnipeg. It's a smaller building, but it's going to be rammed in there as well, where it was not long ago. You had to kind of
Winnipeg interests me.
wedge them into that one side of the rink so it looked full. Make sure you don't get that other camera shot and show where there's tarps and stuff all over it. It's going to be legit full in there. So
what are you expecting in Winnipeg? Because Jericho and Omega got a real nice welcome, right, when they came back with AEW, and they both of them proclaimed their love of Winnipeg, and as they should. Don't get me wrong, but I am kind of curious to see what the response will be to the WWE product there.
It's going to be huge, right? It just is.
So, even here, it's going to be massive here. They're not picking. There's probably some fans of like, oh, I went to the AEW show, I'll never go to the. But I think pretty much.
But there's going to be more people here tonight than the AEW show.
So most of the people that went,
I think there's going to be a lot more kids tonight too.
Yeah.
Right. Do they show I hope they show the Brett banner. You did all that work. They should show the Brett banner.
Hopefully.
What other building has a professional wrestling banner right? Like, come on.
Well, not many.
Show some respect.
Yeah.
Put some respect on that name.
Yeah. Well, I better go. I told my kid we'll be at the crack.
I thought maybe you stopped in the I thought maybe you stopped in the Tim Hortons drive-through to make this call, right?
No, I texted you last night. You're doing wrestling on Just the Game. I'm excited. I'm in. You got one viewer. I'm in. Then
yeah. Well, that's all we need. That's all we need.
To call in.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Old guys liking
old guys
stuff.
Rule.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Boys, see if you can pick us out of the crowd tonight.
You too. Yeah. Have fun.
Thanks,
yeah,
bro.
Absolutely.
I acknowledge you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I had no idea. None whatsoever.
Yeah.
He just brilliant. Which is kind of, I was giving our guest for next Friday crap because he doesn't do that. Peter Labardius is going to join us.
Oh, nice.
So while we were on, are you willing to do media?
Sure.
Okay. I will let her know. Because I had a media request for you after the podcast.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I'm just texting her. Yes, you will. Okay.
Sure. I don't know who it is, but yes, I'll be happy to.
Oh, I think you know who it is.
Yeah.
I think I do too. Well, so much for my organized, planned out show.
Everything laid out.
We were gonna, I was gonna wait till the end to tell you. I know it won't happen, but I want that title change because it's the only time you're ever going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I think
if you could give Natty that hometown moment,
but as long
storyline,
you could do it as long as she gets it back. Rhea Ripley gets it back like Monday,
right? But you do it. But I think then
you want to
then you're giving Gonzalez some heat that.
Right. Maybe she comes in and causes distraction. Then she comes and gets it back. Who knows, right? But yeah, like we said, for women's wrestling right now, Rhea Ripley is probably one of the hottest. Yeah. She's the hottest one right now. She's the reaction she gets, and she's so good in the ring, and just everything she does, talking, and yeah, it's really good.
I guess I waited too long. They found another story.
Perfect.
Sorry. I'm doing a terrible job.
Thanks,
getting
Boomer.
You promotion. Yes, exactly. Thanks, Boomer. What about you tonight? What are you most excited about? What do you want to see? What are you hoping to see?
Yeah, I think that it's the whole storylines and everything are really good, but I want to see some good matches. And I'm a big AJ Styles fan, so I want hopefully he's had like 2 or 3 matches already.
I just don't want that to be a squash.
No, I don't either. I hope they have they have a good match, and we get to see, even if they just show AJ Styles shining and doing moves, like he's one of the guys that that's coming tonight that I really have wanted to see.
If it wasn't for LA Knight, if it wasn't for Roman Reigns, he'd be the guy that I'd be going to see.
Yeah, LA Knight will be just to feel.
We don't even know if he's there.
Yeah,
like, he hasn't been advertised. My assumption was because he was on SmackDown last week, and then he won the Battle Royal, and he had the big moment. I figured he'd be on SmackDown for sure. Maybe not.
Because he's on Raw, so
yeah,
we don't know.
Oh, I just realized that we've been talking about him so much that if he doesn't show up tonight, we're going to get a lot of hate mail. So when you go down to the post office to pick up our mail next week, Jack, there could be a lot of hate mail. When we get cards and letters, when the cards and letters start pouring in, and of course Roman and Paul Heyman and the the storyline we talked ad nauseum. I'm excited about that. Again, I want to see the crowd. I love fun crowds. I think this is going to be a fun crowd. I think it's going to be loud in there. I think it's going to be crazy in there.
Going to be great.
Right.
I just got I saw a text from Kevin Gross who he just said that Stone Cold was here in the 90s, and also Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy in the mid
early 80s, which would have been huge. Both of those would have been huge. Both of those would have been huge, right?
Yeah, but I think that's still, this one was almost bigger, right? And
the King Kong Bundy Hogan one didn't last very long, and Stone Cold really didn't. He had kind of simultaneous, storylines going on, right? Like he started with Brett, and then it was with DX and Kurt Angle and the Undertaker and all, and Mick Foley and The Rock and all of those sort of things. The bloodline has been, it's been excellent. Oh, it really has been excellent. And they needed it. They needed it. They needed the credibility. From the wrestling fan, they needed something to hang their hat on, and now they have it.
Yeah. And like I said, we probably won't even get a match out of it. It's what everyone's excited, but it's the story has hooked everyone with all the twists and turns and who's going to turn on who and what's going to happen with like Jimmy and Jay and Solo. And like, they always plant seeds with so much intriguing storylines about, this could happen next week or this. So yeah.
Does Brett get on the show tonight?
I'm not sure.
I believe he's an ambassador, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hard for them. I like, AEW didn't acknowledge it really. I mean, the wrestlers did, but and that's a challenge also. We'll have to go back and watch it later because we don't know what they're going to say on TV or what they show and stuff like that. But, have to. I don't think you have a choice. They better show the damn banner. That's all I know. Like you guys didn't put all that work into putting the banner up there for nothing.
We'll try to make some calls. I might have burnt all my calls with the T-shirt, so I don't know if I have any more favors left.
Yeah, I got nothing. Sheamus and the Brawling Brutes. We'll see. Almost always some version thereof.
Yeah, I think it's like I said, with all the talent that we've had, and there's a huge list of, like, you could have a massive show with all of the wrestlers that are injured at the moment too, but there's still an abundance of talent that we don't know who's going to be able to make it on the show. There's so many, and then even just with like a lot of the call-ups from NXT that have come, and maybe it's going to be their time to shine, but there's been a lot of them that haven't really had that chance. Grayson Waller a little bit has had a bit of a chance to shine.
Is there a brand split anymore, or is it fair enough for everybody to show it up anywhere?
I think there's still supposed to technically be one, but LA Knight just showed up on Raw this week, so we'll have and Rhea Ripley's coming over to tonight, so who knows what the rules are. Maybe there aren't any rules.
Well, you got to adhere to the rules. You got to have good officiating. Now what?
Nope, nothing.
Okay.
Sorry. There was another
you look
one,
down.
but
what's that?
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's work related.
Freebies? They need shirts? Is that what they need?
No.
You guys. By the way, needed to mention this off the top. We had two guests today, Brent, and we didn't know, but we got Boomer. Courtesy of Ski Cellar Snowboard, skicellarsnowboard.com. They're about to open their doors again, folks. Now, that doesn't mean you should, put away your shorts and your T-shirts and things like that. It's just precautionary. Winter is coming, as they used to say, or they did. But Ski Cellar Snowboard, skicellarsnowboard.com, 76 years in Calgary, 4 locations in Calgary, soon to open. So be watching their social, be watching their website. They will tell you when they're going to open. Okay. But just safe to say that if it wasn't for Ski Cellar Snowboard, Boomer wouldn't have been here, and certainly you wouldn't have been here. But you are, and we're happy for that.
Happy to be here. I'm a little worried that there's no wrestling shows coming up in the next little bit, so I don't know. I might have to be on a hiatus.
It's got to be a dungeon show coming up, shouldn't there?
Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah. No, you won't go now. I mean, Survivor Series is around the corner, and then the Royal Rumble.
Sure.
Right? I mean, and then Wembley.
Yeah, that one I think is going to be big.
Yeah.
Our tribal chief told us not to talk about that. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got to acknowledge him, don't we? Before we go tonight, a couple of things. One, mentioned it. The Calgary Surge are in the CEBL playoffs. They're in Vancouver tonight. That game goes, I believe, 8:30 tip-off our time. And of course, if they win that game, they move on to the championship game on Sunday which will be 5 o'clock our time. So not a bad inaugural season when you can find your way all the way into the championship weekend. One game, winner takes, loser takes all. One game, loser takes all. My God, we lost. Well, good. You're moving ahead. My hope is that they evolve away from this. It's easy to overlook Vancouver or Langley or the Bandits, but they beat the Surge twice this year, so you can't overlook them. And the other thing I want to do is thank you from the bottom of my heart. Last Friday, we did a different show. We had 6 different community organizations come on and talk to you about their need for volunteers. And the listeners and the followers of this show and this podcast, you guys came through in incredible numbers. If you have not followed that show or watched that show or gone back and seen that show, please do. If you want to give back to your community, if you're looking for a place to volunteer and give your time, that's a great one. And I think you're going to find some really cool options in there. So make sure you go check that out. We're back on Monday, putting together a little bit of, it might be a little bit of a longer show, Jack. I'm just, you're getting used to, short shows and stuff now in the summertime. But you might have to work for a couple hours on Monday. And then a week from today, Peter Labardi is scheduled to join us. God, if he'll only talk. I just hope he'll say something.
Yeah. Hopefully you can get him to loosen up a little bit.
Loosen up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to smile a bit.
Just try to talk about sports.
See if he likes anybody. The guy doesn't like anybody. That's the problem, right? He just hates on everybody. It's exciting tonight.
Yeah, I'm super excited for sure. I think it's as it's coming up closer and closer, especially like woke up this morning. It's like a little kid. It's funny, like everyone talks about us old guys, just it's kind of just
it's nice to have
it's
that.
A super nice escape for the day, right?
That's what it is.
Yeah. And just the way that the fans react and you still get the kids are super excited. I know that there's some friends that are bringing their kids to their first wrestling show, and I think that just to see them react to it now too, and what's going on, and it's going to be a spectacle. Nobody puts on a show like WWE. That's for sure.
You and I are going to have front row seat to find out, because we were here a month ago and here we are again. It's been pretty difficult to complain as a wrestling fan around here.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good time to be a wrestling fan. With competition is good, because you see the overabundance of talent that are bursting at the seams to break out for each show. And there's we're talking about 3 WWE shows. We're talking about 2 AEW shows, not to mention Impact Wrestling.
It's hard to believe we almost went 20 years with no real competition, right? Yeah. And it's hard to believe there's no, all due respect to Impact, sorry. Yeah.
But there's lots of alternatives.
There is.
Whether or not even you some people might not even view AEW as competition, but it's an alternative. And it's something that's for those wrestling fans that are kind of diehards, but it's something for everyone. Even the way Dynamite and Collision they're completely different shows, but there's something there for everyone. And every show, like the Collision show that we got to witness, was a lot more old school, kind of like that Saturday Night Main Event. When they had the little promo videos at the beginning of each one fighting in the main event or the big matches. They're all doing little promos and they just get right to the wrestling. We saw one little break with with the Scissor Me Daddy Ass segment, but the rest was 2 hours, was most of it was all wrestling, which got everyone hooked. So
it was good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Good stuff. Make sure if you're going tonight to pick up your Smackdown Flames shirt, because this is the only place you'll be able to get them.
Edition, just only at the event. Yeah,
perfect. Thanks to our outstanding producer Jack. Thanks to Boomer for popping in, special occasion. Thanks to Amy Bontorin for creating our outfits for tonight. Thanks for Rick Tulsi just being Rick Tulsi. And thanks to my good buddy Brent Gibbs for joining us. And can't thank Ski Cellar Snowboard enough for presenting our guests, and what a great partner they are. We're back on Monday, big show on Monday, and then Peter Labardi next Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you.